Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and my name is Talha Parkar, and in this video we'll be working on Power BI and we'll be creating a Gantt chart in Power BI. So let's get started. Let's go to Excel and let's import my data set. So we'll be working with a data set that I have created, a sample data set for this particular purpose. So you see that in my data set I have 6 tasks. I have a start date, I have the duration, I have the status, and I have the percentage of completion. So I'm going to load this in Power BI. Now in Power BI you don't have a Gantt chart available here. You'll have to go to the synapses and insert import a custom visual. So let's do that first. Let's click on the synapses, get more visuals. Once you do that, you have the app source and you can search for the Gantt chart over here. So you've got multiple ones. We'll be working with the first one. And to get some more idea of what exactly a Gantt chart is, it is a type of bar chart to illustrate a schedule with time axis. So this is how it looks. This is how it is. So I've added this. So let's get started. I'm going to expand this so that it is visible to all of you. Let's hide the filters pane and let's have a look at the various fields that we have over here. So we've got a task field. So now I knew the exact fields, hence I created a similar data set because this is an illustration. But when you're working with real-time data, it might not necessarily be the case. So you might have to create some data sets. You might have to create some additional columns. So we have a start date, and this should be a date field. As you can see the calendar icon over here, this should be a date field, otherwise it won't work. I drag the start date column to the start date field, and you see that we've got a Gantt chart. It's in the works. Now click inside, let's go back. Now the end date and the duration, as you see I don't have an end date, but if I drag my duration to the duration field, it automatically expands. So that's there, and we get that easily. And let's just expand this so that, okay, so it's a bit, it's not out of size, it's okay. Yeah, so we've added the duration. Now we can add the percentage completion. Once you do that, you can see that these tasks have been completed. This task has been completed by 50% and these tasks have not been started yet. Okay, so now you could add a resource, as in where who is completing these tasks, as a label to these, as a label beside these Gantt bars. You could add a tooltip. So if I want, I could add my status to tooltip, and if you see, you can see the status of each of these. So the last line in this tooltip is a status which says complete. Over here it says complete. Over here again it says complete. Over here it says in progress. Over here it says not started, and over here it says not started. And as you see that the end date has also been automatically calculated based on the duration. So end date is calculated basis the duration if you don't have an end date to enter. Now this is what a Gantt chart basically looks like. So I've exhausted all the fields that I have in my sample data set. So if you want, you could the legends and the parents field and the end date, as I told you, is not something that we need here right now, and the resource is something that you could add besides these Gantt bars. For example, if I was to take my status and add it to my resource, I would see it besides each of these. So that's also something that you can do. Okay, so that's something that you can do apart from percentage. Also, I could add my completion percentage to my resource so that you see the percentage of completion besides each of these. And here you don't see a percentage because it's 0%. So let's drag this outside. Let's close this. Let's take the status to the tooltip. And also you could, I think we can add that to the milestone as well. Okay, no, so milestone is probably a target or a set date of completion for all these tasks. And let's have a look at what the parent. So okay, you could have different headings. You can minimize these. This is pretty cool. So you could have an overview of the different tasks. So for example, right now you see complete, in progress, and not started. You could have different categories. So let's say you have different departments in your organization. So you could have you could have finance, marketing, HR, and when you click on the plus, you have different tasks within those departments, and you can see the status of those tasks. And here you see the overall status of the tasks. So that can be done as well. And I think if I add my tasks to my legend, so that doesn't work actually. So I need to have a different field for legend because it'll change the colors. So I think I can add my status. No, not state. I need to create a different field for legends. So right now I think this is pretty cool. Let's take this out of take the status out of parents, and let's work on the formatting a bit. Let's look at the formatting options available. So you have the general formatting, scroll to current time, display grid lines, you can change the duration to days. Let's keep it to days because that's what we fixed. And you could turn the days off. For example, if you've got weekends stuff in your particular during your particular tasks, within your tasks, you could change the positioning of the legends. Since we don't have a legend, it's better to turn it off. You could work on the milestones. I have not added any, hence you don't see any. You could turn off the category so you don't see any, but that's not viable because you need to see what task are you working on. Along with that, the task completion, you could turn that off. If you turn that off, all the tasks will be completed. So you don't need to go and physically change your data before submitting this dashboard. If you've completed all the tasks after the set according to the set deadlines, you could just come here, turn this off, so that you can see that all the tasks have been completed. So let's keep that on. You've got a tooltip setting, so you can add the date format in that. So for example, if I keep my tooltip on any of these bars, you see that along with the month and the date and the year, it also shows a particular time. It gives me the option of showing the time as well. So you could have proper date format, you could have the task settings, you could turn on and off data labels, and these are available with all these options. Data type is something that was not available, so you could change the data type depending on what kind of duration you're working with. The title, that's pretty common. You got a background, you've got visual headers, and shadow and border is the usual, as we know. So I've taken you through the formatting options. If you want, you could change the colors. You could go to view, and maybe you could change the reporting of theme. Let's make it black. Okay, the text doesn't look good. Let's make it purple. Okay, maybe blue, different shade of blue. That works too. So you could have different themes for these, different colors for these. That's up to you. So this is how you create a Gantt chart in Power BI. I hope you learned something new. And remember, I created a customized data set just for this particular video. So for example, if you're working with a real-time data set, you need to have these particular fields. Only then will you be able to create a Gantt chart. And anyways, you need a start date and an end date and a duration and some tasks to create a Gantt chart, even if you're doing it on Excel or Tableau for that matter. So thank you. I hope you learned something new. Stay tuned for more content on Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Excel, and PowerPoint. Thank you.